Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Local Pundit. I'm Josh Anthony. This is your Wrexham latest news and update show, the WREXfast Club, for Wednesday, March 12th, the day after a loss. Yes, it is. It's a tough one. Yesterday was a tough one to take on the chin, and we will talk about that briefly and move on. I had my say, woke up in the middle of the night, taking some notes. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep, and it wasn't because of the spring ahead with the clocks. It was just because so disappointing yesterday. But thank you for coming in. Please smash a like on the video and subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the Local Pundit. We are on our way to 2,000 and 50,001. So if you know, you know. We're gonna get there. Got some thoughts. Got Patty in the background too. He's got a little bit of a slideshow that shows the rest of the season, what we're going to. But yes, as you can see on the thumbnail, it says we need to fight for promotion and we need heroes. And yesterday we did blow that opportunity to make things a little less difficult on us, but Patty's got some stuff that he's going to share with us too in a minute here. But right now, I'm going to tell you, listen, congratulations to Reading. They went and they played us off the park yesterday. I don't even want to go through normally what we do is we would go through the player ratings. I'll give you the player ratings, up and down. Shit. That's the player rating. Just shit. That's it. Sums it up right there. So what do you think about that? But I'm not taking any credit away from Reading. The midfield was great. Wing was fantastic. Nibs, the young kid Garcia played well. Savage was awesome. Tyler Binden was awesome. And Strickland, before he got sent off, was amazing. And if it was a penalty or not a penalty, you know what? We rode our luck for 70 minutes. And then all of a sudden, 50 minutes, and all of a sudden a penalty goes awry, and we got to deal with it. And we're chasing the game. So, but right now we're in the dark night of the soul. The dark night of the soul. The bad guys are closing in. Who's going to be the hero? Well, we got to look at it. Are we talking all this smack about the togetherness? Are we full of crap? Where's our character? And I think that we need some character guys to step up right now, because on the weekend, it is not going to be easy. On that note, I'm going to bring in Patty too. He's been hanging out in the back. We'll have this conversation. Pete, yeah, thumbs up. Yeah. He's yeah, there he is. We were just, hey man, how are you? I'll save the rant. I'll back it up. It'll just the conversation. How's that? Good to see you, man. Yeah, good to see
good.
You. Yeah. Oh man. Performance yesterday. I know you guys had a call-in show, but I got to say, for this part of the season, I think it's unacceptable. I really do think it's unacceptable.
It went back to extremely defensive away play. Absolutely. Didn't enjoy it. Never have. I have complained about it numerous times in the past when we were doing badly away, that we just weren't attacking. We were playing completely different, and our style just didn't work against a fast young team.
Yeah, very fast. I mean, they were fast. They were aggressive. I can handle losing. Like I can definitely handle performances like that. Just technically not even showing up, in my opinion, is a problem. I can handle a loss. The performance was not even unlucky. It was we didn't even show up.
Yeah, it was horrible across the pitch. Our passing was absolutely woeful in the first half. Absolutely ridiculous.
Abysmal. I put some notes here on my thing. I see there's Mullen on the thumbnail there, and I know there's a Mullen and a Palmer issue that's going on. I'm not saying I don't want to be a flip-flop of like, is that the issue? Bring Mullen back, bring Palmer. I'm not saying that's the case, but I don't know if we saw yesterday. I did rewatch like the opening trailer to Welcome to Wrexham. There was so much passion and love. You're not feeling the passion and love. I mean, do we have mercenaries out there at this point? Up front, do they not care? I don't know. I mean, I'm just throwing things out there to just like try to pinpoint on it. And yes, we will go again on Saturday. And what does that look like? I don't know.
It's back to the old school of thought that we always step up for the harder games, for the more difficult games, and we tend to do better when teams will play at us as a natural style, and we play our defensive game with quick attacking plays afterwards. So I'm not as worried about Wycombe the weekend. It is a difficult match, and if we lose it, it's not great. It will significantly hurt us for a while. Even if we lose it, it does not mean that we're not going to take second place. And we'll see some of that from the graphics I put together. So it's not the end of the world, but like that match last night did hurt. It did.
That was like pulling teeth. It was like the hangover, just going, I pulled my tooth out to prove I can do it. We're just to make it harder on ourselves. I don't know why. I really don't know why we do that to ourselves. And granted, yes, in 72 hours, I think we have, for me, I know the numbers don't add up. For me, mentally, everything else, I think it's a must-win game. I do. Just for you're right. We do get up for the big games. I thought yesterday was a big game though, so I'm not sure. Maybe I'm not squaring it, but I think this weekend Saturday game is a must-win game. For multiple reasons.
After coming off a loss, for the psychology side of it, for the fact that we are chasing the second spot against Wycombe, yes, a lot of that side of it lends that way. I was more talking straight numbers.
Oh, numbers, definitely. Yeah, numbers wise, definitely. I agree with you. I agree mentally there. Bruce said Parky Postmaster was criticizing the easy possession given to Reading. I mean, he chose the tactics. It doesn't seem like everyone did the lift required to copy the lack of Davo disrupting the opposition possession. Well, that's why I put Mack in there. I think Mack was one of the biggest mistakes he made all season, in my opinion, in the middle of the park.
The question is, will he see it that way? I'm not so sure he will.
Not so sure either. I'm not so sure either. Amy Wilder agrees.
I disagree with that. I'm sorry.
That one. I don't think there's no heart. I'm just wondering, are we fighting for the badge? And I want to bring this up too. Do you think that the rumors about the disrupt inside the locker room is coming into play?
It really is a hard one to know. Maybe there are now outward signs showing that there is disruption. Because I don't care who you are, you don't put a post like that without meaning something. Everybody is social media savvy. Our guys absolutely have social media training, and a manager should be able to immediately enforce something like that. You don't do it. Now, the only kind of flip side to that I will say is, on occasion, our players have gotten away with posting stupid shit online. That should never have happened. So that would be the argument that our club is a little bit lax in allowing people their freedom of speech, because the issue for me is some of the stupid stuff they've said is representing the club because of who they're talking about. Now, if you want to get into politics or if you want to get into social things on your own time, on your own channel, I don't care. Everybody's entitled to do that. But if it's in an area that it links to the club, no, you're not entitled to do that. Because you're potentially causing damage. So calling out Shrewsbury and calling out other teams, stuff like that, doing songs online that are basically...
We got dinged up yesterday too, for sure. By them too. I mean, this, I know this. We watch the team every single day, and I'm like, and everyone criticizes you need a moment of brilliance. You need a moment. And maybe that's what we need to do, because we don't score goals. We don't go out and you and I and everyone else that supports the club, and everyone's like, we're waiting for them to play their best football. And if we just have to have the moment of brilliance, someone needs to step up and play that hero role. And, it has been Fletcher lately. We've gotten a little bit lucky yesterday, unlucky, but poor performance. All came down crashing right down upon us, So I want to see who's going to be the heroes. I want to see on the pitch who's going to do it. I do. And I'm not saying it's a Mullen. I'm not saying it has to be Fletcher every game, somebody in the middle of the park. We obviously need a Cam of some sort, but who are these character guys that are going to step up and give us those moments and be that hero? Because otherwise, you're right, we're going to be in the playoffs, dude. And the things you were just showing me right here, that is an absolute, that's a crapshoot.
Okay, I'm going to play a little devil's advocate, and I'm going to take the other side of it here. I don't believe it would have taken a massive upgrade on what we were achieving yesterday in order to win that match. Our first half was horrendous. So leaving that aside, we basically contained them, but we did nothing either. So leave that aside. Then in the second half, they got the penalty. They capitalized on it in the next few minutes. It didn't get our heads right quick enough. They took the second goal. But we did what we normally did. We come out fighting towards the end of the match heavily in those scenarios, chasing the game. And we tend to do it even if we're not chasing the game. We tend to push hard in the end of the match. And we did have multiple chances that were basically Wrexham chances that we missed. Foul, 2 headers.
2 headers.
He didn't get on the end of for 1. And others had chances as well. Now, the way we play with this moments of brilliance, we cannot rely on that for every single match. It's not going to happen.
And we're going to lose games. And things like yesterday are going to happen. You know, it's how we respond to it too, for sure. 100%.
The difference is sometimes when we have lost, we have actually played well, but the moments just didn't work. The difference with last night is we happened to play very badly as well. And then the moments just didn't go in either. But which
leads me to believe, and I know you get on the other side, there is something else going on. You know what I mean? Are they downing tools? I doubt that. You know, I'm not sure. Which, if there's smoke, there's fire. You can't drop that big of an egg. You know what I mean? That I don't know. I mean, the Revon and the Macca thing, they clearly couldn't play together yesterday. I don't know what was going on. But no, to your point, we usually do push at the end, and some things do click. If it was the bad game of the season, then I hope that's the one. But I didn't think it would be at this time of the season.
Yeah, and I'm sure we're going to talk about Palmer and Mullen in a minute. But if you look at the stats for the team, since January when we swapped out and brought in the new players, we have achieved a higher average. So we had decent results earlier in the year because obviously we're overachieving and we're very high in the league. So we had good results, but we have had better results since we changed it up.
We have done. Yeah, we have done. And, you know, I didn't want to, I put the Mullen up there because he has been a hero in the past on the thumbnail, and it's not clickbait. I'm not saying he needs to go in and play. I don't think that's the case. But up front, we said it yesterday. Smitty said it to himself. Everybody's like, I'm used to playing as a 1, a 2 up. You know, they kind of look out of sorts. They got marked out of the game. Bindon was awesome yesterday. Yesterday. And Strickland, I think, took out J-Rod fairly easily.
Yeah, they had the other Reading definitely had their moments, you know, and they contained us. They did. But overall, look, sorry.
It's okay. He's got the kids at home. So, overall, like he was just saying, he's like, overall, they took advantage of our weaknesses and they capitalized on it. And like Patty just mentioned, that first 45 minutes are almost like nulled out. So then we were chasing the game immediately and then chasing it again. Is that where you're going with that?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. He's got the kiddos. All good. Shoot the rehearsal, as you know. Go ahead. Sorry, but go ahead.
Yeah, so I was kind of going on the side of Parky there that his tactics were not they didn't work yesterday, but there wasn't a massive difference in what we normally do, and they normally do work. So if I was to defend the tactics and defend what he's doing, I can do it. I can look at it and say it was a bad day at the office. We lost. They capitalized on some weaknesses, especially that we had, including the passing. But we do it again. Yeah. We roll out exactly the same thing onto the next match, and here we go. He plays by the numbers. We know this. 100%. So individual matches, he does not care. And I can absolutely defend what he's been doing, even in that last match, and say, okay, didn't work. It was a once-off. Let's just run it again. Next match on we go.
Let's run it back. Yesterday felt like he double bagged it for no reason. Like, why are we double bagging it? Like, you have the safety net of the 2 in the midfield. Our defense is playing solid, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh shoot, we got caught. You know, it broke, and we got caught. Right. And I will tell you right now, do not be surprised, Patty, if there's an unchanged on Saturday.
No, I don't think so this time. Okay. I don't think so this time. But saying that, I wouldn't have a heart attack if it came out unchanged. Yeah, it actually wouldn't really faze me at all.
No, you yep, sure. Yeah, like you said, he'll run it back. Let's run it back. Yeah. I think he'll probably I think he'll take out Macca. I think he'll take out Macca, and I think he'll take out Barney. Longman should come back in. I don't know what he'll do in the midfield.
Longman needs to come back in.
Yeah,
he has just shown levels of consistency and levels of danger when he's on the pitch. Because you talk about random moments, he has those moments absolutely of just rushing defenses and causing havoc around them. Even if he's not getting the goal directly, he's getting into dangerous positions and he's attacking into the right areas.
Yep. Bruce says, as long as Mac is not in the midfield, I'm good with that on the weekend. And Bruce goes on to say, that was Dan to Bruce. And then Bruce says, Wrexham was targeting the stronger side of the defense. Long was on the left, and Barney was relief valve when they overcommit, and shutting down the left is promising. Well, I think we were way too chasing the game at that point, and that we could have had a couple opportunities. We were just literally just chasing the game. You know what I mean? To be fair, you have to go and give Reading a lot of credit. We took their best player. They're in an embargo. They played a 17-year-old kid, a Garcia, at left back. We gave them 80% of possession. There was a protest, all this stuff, and they're under an embargo. They're trying to sell the club, and they came and they waxed us. They absolutely waxed us. So I got to give them credit. And I don't like you said, he'll probably roll the same thing out on the weekend for sure. Parkinson.
They shut down our wings, partly due to the fact that our passing was so poor, because we never got the passing movement to free them up and allow them to go on a run. We weren't getting overlaps on our wings in order to move the ball forward. And that severely hurt us. And it shouldn't have hurt us. That was their weak points. That should have been their weak points. But I will say they did press much higher than they ever do. That is not their game. That is not their style. So this is where you have arguments and people turn around about Parky and say, you never change your tactics up for the teams. And Reading did. You could see it. They changed and went to a high press, because if you can do it successfully against us, it shuts us down.
And they had a new manager come in.
And they did.
They did. They had a new manager come in recently, and James was. Everything James said, by the way, was pretty much spot on about the team. Kid knows his team really well, and it was one of those things. Okay, you want to do it about the Mullen, Palmer, and the Parky stuff? We're hearing some rumblings.
We've been hearing them for a while. I suppose it's about time to talk about it.
We're hearing rumblings, whether true or not, I don't know. The bust up with Mullen and bust up with Palmer. Obviously, they haven't been at the games. I think Mullen was at the beach on Saturday, and then there is some light rumors about Parkinson, which I tend to not know if it's actually true about him. But what say you?
Well, say the rumors first.
Well,
they have to know what we're talking about.
Yeah, basically, is there a chance that Parkinson could go by the end of the season if we lose? I'm not saying it's true. I'm not saying it's true. Someone had mentioned it to me. I don't know if it's true or not, but we'll see what happens after the weekend. I'll leave it at that. But will Parkinson go by the end of the season? I doubt it. Is it a rumor? Possibly. Rumors happen. You know how things go. But do you think there's anything to that?
Okay. I'll try and be more clear, because I still think you're not being very clear. So the rumors that have been coming out for quite a while that we haven't focused on because they're rumors is simply with the Palmer and Mullen, that there's been a lot of issues in the dressing room. Yeah. And that there is maybe kind of two factions or whatever, two different groups.
Right,
yeah. Potentially old guard and new guard. That some of the players are unhappy that when we brought in the new players, and I guess the argument would be we were playing well. For the small improvement, was it worth bringing in new players over the old guard or whatever? So anyway, that's assuming that this is true. So there's been a shift in the dressing rooms. It has come out on social media with this silliness about pictures and cryptic messaging and stuff like this. Roll the dice. There's been rumors about Palmer's dad trying to contact the two boys over Phil Parkinson. There has been all this sort of nonsense, basically. Now, it looks like certainly some of it is true A lot of it is probably exaggerated, but who knows? And now lately, it's been stated that there is talk that Parky is actually extremely unhappy with this scenario.
Yes.
Basically, that I guess he's feeling undermined from somewhere. And the talk is that if we were to lose against Wycombe on the weekend, that he might walk.
Yeah. Which
Now,
I would.
that's huge. That's absolutely huge.
I mean, we would do a 24-hour stream.
Yeah.
We would do a 24-hour stream.
I can't see it.
I can't.
I can't see it.
Yeah.
And it's an interesting one because you have to think then, right? Is it true or is it not true?
Yes.
Mostly, I would say I can't see it being true. That he would walk, and that with a back-to-back
Yeah.
possibility. That
like
you can't, no matter how bad it is in the dressing room, that you can't deal with it. Even if you have two sides of the team,
True.
I'm sure this has happened to other teams before. So I'm sure it can be managed and dealt with. The players are still out there. They're still doing an okay job, some complaints here and there, but they're not downing tools as of yet.
No.
We're not seeing that players aren't particularly playing.
Yesterday was the first day I'm like, after I sat back, I'm like, are they downing tools? Because it was like, I was like, what am I watching? What are we doing here? That was the first time I was like, maybe he has lost a bit of the dressing room. Although I don't see that. There you go. Matt Al says, rumors are Parky's having crisis meetings over the current situation have been leaked from the training ground. F it. He said it. There you go. Matt Al. There you go.
So for me, no matter how bad it is, even if all this is true with different players or whatever, I don't see Parky leaving over it. That would be extremely unusual.
Yes.
So then you have to consider one of two kind of cases. Either people are purposely trying to put that rumor around because their agenda is to get rid of Parky.
Yep.
So they're stirring the pot and trying to make it difficult for him. Or it is potentially true. And the only way I see it maybe being true is if there is some difficulty between Parky and the club, not Parky and the players.
Well, you mentioned about who did he want? Did he want Smitty? Did he want J-Rod?
So the question, So the question that leads me to discussing that idea is the January window. Did he want the two new guys to come in? Was he somewhat happy with the team he had? Was he okay to go with it? Was there pressure from higher up saying we absolutely have to go with this? We are bringing in better players. We are pushing. We want the promotion. And if that's the case, then I could see that leading to issues with the manager. But that also doesn't really make total sense because I think there's been enough reason to take out J-Rod. If he wanted to go old guard, like if he's on the old guard side and he didn't want the new boys, I think he has had reason to pull them.
Yeah,
and to try other players, unless he's been forced not to and has been told you play them.
Yeah.
So, would I see him being on the side of the old guard to this level to walk? I don't think so. I think it has to be exaggerated. I really think it has.
How do they? First of all, it would be a tragedy because he has done so well for us, right?
Yeah.
Okay, right there. Regardless of what happened yesterday, you know what I mean? Fine. He's done so well. He's so well liked by everybody. Everyone's behind him. You know what I mean? No matter what. To get to a critical mass like that, where it's like, holy good. I mean, that is DEFCON. That is sky is falling, which I don't think the sky is falling. We'll see what happens on the weekend. You know what I mean? But I say that I don't believe that Palmer and Mullen, let's take those two, could come in and affect the game as effectively. We're not scoring goals anyway. So it's like, what's the square there? We're not actually, no one's scoring goals anyway. So I don't think it's actually the striker's fault. I think it's sometimes the tactics. The first half yesterday, The first half it was abysmal, right? But we're still not scoring 2 and 3 goals. We still barely get 1 goal a game. Our defense is getting better. We can't score a goal. So I'm not going to blame it up top. And if Parkinson is getting that much pressure to walk away, I don't know if it's true. I'd be absolutely shocked. And how do you square that? How do you get that publicly out there without looking like absolute shit?
Yeah. And I agree. We have difficulty getting opportunities to our strikers. We do. And the two goals that have been scored by Smith were very difficult goals. A long ball over the top that he had to bring down, complete control himself and finish his first one. Like that was a crazy goal to be able to do that. And it shows his quality when needed. He has been trying to break through on his own on numerous occasions, and he's been getting close. You can see he's a danger. But all our strikers all season have been having difficulties. And unfortunately for Mullen, is he had injuries. There's nothing a team can do about that.
I think
he had to come.
You got to give him the pass on that.
He had to come back from injury, so he gets a pass for that. But he was brought back. And JM, they were brought back into the team after their injuries, and they were given an opportunity. So it's not as if they were dumped to the side because of injury. We moved on, and they never got their shot. Mullen came back. He was in the team after injury. He got good chances, similar to he always gets, and he did not convert them.
He got into positions. He definitely got into positions, for sure. He just didn't convert them. You're right.
So from that side of it, like, he got his shot. And if he had converted those, we wouldn't have brought in the new strikers in January, because we would have been a little bit higher on the stats. We would have had an extra couple of points, and we wouldn't have needed to bring them in if the head of the club had said, we want promotion. We're going at, not quite at all costs, but we're going to throw money at this. You're going to upgrade because we're having some issues here, and we're going to see if it makes a difference.
Right. Why not? We don't know if we'll ever get this opportunity again, sitting third, going into second. I still think we'll get second. I do. I'm not. I love the conversation. By the way, Kelly says, just got here on a break. Really missed the Josh Patty analysis. Thank you for this. Absolutely. And then going back, it'll be a PR nightmare. I mean, truly, if the Parkinson thing is true, that's what I'm saying. Right.
It's all good drama for Welcome to Wrexham side of it. It's all good drama. People might not like it for a while, but I don't see that as being a big problem. The big problem is what happens if this comes out now and causes a difficult end to the season. That's what the problem is, not the drama for anything else.
Yeah, that's why I'm calling this the Dark Night of the Soul. In the storyline right now, it's the Dark Night of the Soul. Who's the hero going to be? We are literally, the bad guys are closing in, i.e. Wycombe on the weekend, and we're the Dark Night of the Soul. That's where we're at.
So, to answer your question, who's going to be the hero, right?
Yeah.
I don't think any of us have ever done this. Is we don't give Parky his props for setting up the team to allow everybody else to score. We constantly talk about the strikers not scoring,
right?
But all season, it has been the rest of the team that has stepped up and scored the goals.
Rathbone, Max, Barney, a few in the middle.
Barney, a few.
Yep.
Everybody, Lee, almost everybody has scored pretty much. And certainly if the couple that haven't scored have taken decent shots and just barely missed, kind of. So that is something we never kind of consider, is they're not attacking off their own back because it's desperation. That's not how they're attacking. They're attacking because our system is set up that anybody can score the goals.
Coming in from the back.
They're coming in from the back. They're coming in from the sides. They're coming in from everywhere. And it's something I have never came into my head to say that. And I am playing a little bit of devil's advocate, as I said, because I think Parky is coming under fire a lot now. And I want to show the other side of it and maybe bring up some things I haven't said before.
I think you have to. Otherwise, we're not, you and I, no one on this, even the local pundit community, we're not like, it's not a Parky out thing. These are the conversations that I want to have because I want to understand it myself, because we do have the talent. But sometimes, this football, it doesn't quite work out. It's like, oh, shoot, we should have won the game and we lost. We drew. You know what I mean? The contribution is everywhere. The contribution is all over the pitch. And sometimes it just doesn't click. And you're right. He doesn't get enough credit. And, wear those big shoulders. He takes a lot of stick, especially after yesterday. But the sky is not falling. I agree with that. And
Tessa's comment there.
Which one?
This one up. Yeah, you got it. Statistically, we're at 50 goals, right around Charlton, Stockport, Leyton Orient, Reading, Huddersfield, and our defense is better. Does that matter? Yes, it does matter.
It does matter.
It does matter. And we can argue all day about, not scoring 2 and 3 and 4 in different matches, but a lot of those goals become irrelevant because they weren't needed.
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to start going down that road to have the argument, the only benefit is a 1 point difference with goal difference.
Mm-hmm.
If you land on the same team at the end of the season and you have a better goal difference from them, it's so difficult to end up in that scenario that you need the goal difference, that it's not even worth considering. And if you want to argue that, we're not a good enough football team because we're only winning 1-0, then you're going down the road of arguing, well, we want pretty football and I don't care if we lose.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? No,
you can play
it's about winning.
Yeah, you can play pretty and get your ass kicked. You know what I mean? And I agree with you. I don't mind winning 1-0. I mean, granted, it's not fun for us to watch it sometimes, but I don't mind winning 1-0. At the end of the day, once you get the points, you got another one.
Okay, I'm going to call someone out here now.
No.
Just to see. Right, Carl Davies. Don't care how we win, just want to see more goals. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
But answer me this question. Do you want to see more goals, but also see us lose? Mm-hmm. Because there's scenarios here where we can start scoring 2 and 3 goals and end up losing by 3 and 4 goals in the opposite direction. Like sometimes people are asking for things that are a little bit irrelevant. And this is where the argument for me comes down to is extra goals are kind of irrelevant. They're nice. I would love to have them. I'm not saying we shouldn't try and beat people by more goals and have more comfortable matches. Of course we should.
But he plays the averages. He doesn't go to try to get that second or third.
Looking for extra goals just for the fact of being more comfortable and being nicer ultimately is irrelevant.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. One thing too. So this on that, speaking not of this actually just struck me out too. Paul Trow, I don't know who you support. Happy to have you in there. Good. We went from being the good guys to the villains, to the heels, basically. We talked about this the other day about being heels. I think we've kind of always, like, everyone is rooting for us at some point, but also at some point they're also rooting against us. So I think we have a combination of both. We're going through a transition time too. People want us.
Okay, but we've always, I think, been the villains to everybody else, not to ourselves,
not to our fan base.
No. And isn't that exactly the same as being the heel in wrestling?
Sure.
Everybody else hates you, but your fans love you.
So we're always the heel.
You know what I mean? So we've always been kind of looked at like that, and people throw Hollywood money and buying the leagues and all this carry on. Yeah, we can find arguments against other teams too. They're not our team, so we try and knock them down a little bit, and people can try that with us too. I don't mind that. But I don't think we're transitioning into the villains ourselves yet. There's nothing villainous that I see.
No.
The arguments that are coming out that we're being villainous towards Mullen and Palmer, that's an argument I would love to get in with someone and just spend an hour talking about, because I'm sorry, I've actually been doing this. I've been online posting about this for quite a while. There's quite a few threads about this, and especially since Ian Herbert had his article saying that we should be happy to be 7th this season and give Palmer and Mullen a nice send off.
Well, Ian's been on the show.
Are you a joke?
Well, Ian's
That's
been on
ridiculous.
The show. I can have him on for you.
Bring him back on, and I'll go through everything he said, because it's ridiculous, most of it.
I'll bring. He's a nice guy. I'll bring him on. I'll get him back.
He was on Fearless in Devotion, and I'll tell you this much: they didn't press him on his thoughts, but at the same time, he did not defend what he said in that article very strongly.
I can DM him. I'll get him on. You be nice to him.
I'll be nice to him, but I'll tell you, I'll rip his ideas apart. So if he thinks that's not being nice, then it's his choice.
It's his choice.
But anyway, so it has come
with Posh, Patty. Remember what happened with Posh? Let me warn you as a friend. Remember what happened. Don't go down
Okay. So this has come up as kind of a major discussion point online lately because of that article and saying that about Palmer and Mullen. But I've already said it. They got their shot. They were brought back into the team. They weren't just dumped to the side because of an injury. And unfortunately, it just wasn't good enough when they came back. Now, they're paid very well to do a job for the club. And if there's a scenario where Mullen doesn't play for us again, he's got another 2-year contract that we are going to have to pay out.
You're going to either eat it or he's going to sit on the bench or go do whatever the hell he wants to do. Yeah.
And I'll tell you right now, he deserves it because he signed the contract.
Sure.
The club offered it to him. And if the club is stupid enough to extend contracts that early when we're aiming for quick promotions, that's their own fault. So I'm not going to blame any of the players who won't leave or won't leave without their full pay or whatever.
They shouldn't have to.
That's fine.
They shouldn't have to get their full money. I totally agree with that too. But to that point, when you and I went through the summer, I think we were the only ones doing the summer shows, right? Every single person we signed up was hit it at the same time, 26, 27, whatever the hell it was. Yeah. And I think you and I had said, oh, they're trying to get through that ceiling. They thought maybe it'd be 2 seasons they would get up. Yeah. We were saying that with the extensions and things like that for sure. But he's right. They signed it and great. And maybe you didn't want to go for certain reasons. There you go. Ian's argument was an example of framing. Is Wrexham ready for the championship? Is the wrong framing? Is the championship a better place to consolidate than League One? Is the issue? I think we have to get there first. And yes, the sky, and as someone also said in there too, we're acting like we're going through relegation. No, we're just having a conversation because, this is not easy. This is never going to be easy. But I want to get there, and then we'll have to deal with that. So right now, we have an opportunity to do so, and I think we need to take that opportunity to get into the championship. And then next year, you're right, this team will get sent right back down if we don't make any changes. But
we won't have this team.
We won't have this team.
And this is something that people forget. Is you get the summer to change your team. We have changed our team every single summer. It's the way it is. Yeah. And changes are going to happen faster with a team that is gaining promotion. It has never happened back to back to back. And it has left us with players on longer contracts in divisions that they're not capable for. And it has also made some people step up, like Max.
Max is the great.
So if we go up and Max stays with us, he's going to have to prove himself in the championship, or he's going to end up getting sat down. And we're going to have to bring more people in.
Look at Scar. Look at Scar coming in. He came down a level. He
came down a level, and he's not our number one.
Yeah, for whatever reason, I think he's good enough. Prefers O'Connell. You know what I mean? I don't know how many clean sheets O'Connell has under his belt. He's probably got all 16. So we have 17, right? But all that said, we have to turn this around on Saturday. In my opinion, I think we have to turn it around on Saturday. Have to. I don't know how we do it, but I think we have to turn this around on Saturday. Have to.
Yeah, and the match after Stockport. The next two are really important.
Yeah. You want to bring up a graphic there while we're doing? Or when you have the kiddies. Hold on, I'll get to some of the chat here. Carol says there is a danger of us going down. There's no danger of us going down next year if we go up this year. He's got to deal with the kiddos. And improvements in the summer. We will make improvements in the summer. Yes. Thank you all for coming in. Great conversation. But again, this is all about fighting for the promotion. All about it too. And yes, the arguments are that is who are going to be those heroes for us to go do this. We are. I know we're all so happy and excited to be in this position, but let's go finish the job. Again, I said, this is the bad guys closing in, the dark night of the soul. And, we will turn it around. We will go again on Saturday. I think the performance yesterday was the one that knocked us for 6, was knocked us for 6. Pop in whenever you want. Yeah. Was the performance yesterday that knocked us for 6, and all these other things. We kick all the tires. That's what we do. So we have some opportunities. We have some opportunities that I think we fell flat on. We haven't met the moment. Yesterday was one of those days where we didn't meet the moment, which was a little surprising. And I think that's one of the things that we're talking about here. Kelly says, I also agree with Patty's thoughts about extending long contracts. The club did that, and we have to stand behind them if the players refuse to move on. You're right. You can't force someone to leave. They signed the goddamn credit. They signed the credit. And Tess says another thing Parky doesn't get credit for. We can't assume another manager will bring in the same quality of players as he does. It's not just tactics. I think Parkinson is a great manager, my opinion. But I'll leave that.
Yeah,
there.
that's true. And again, to play devil's advocate, though, if Parky leaves, he has built the team around his style. It will be difficult for another manager to come in and change it very quickly and keep us at the same level. Now, maybe there's plenty of managers who are kind of old school managers. They have been around long enough that they understand what Parky was doing. That might come in and be able to use the similar tactics until the end of the season, and then start changing to whatever style they're looking at. But either way, it's not going to be easy to upgrade the team in the summer if we go up because of the contracts.
Yeah,
we've had a lot of contracts.
The grass is never green on the other side. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, the rumors about Parkinson, all that stuff, who the hell knows if it's true or not? It's something we had to talk about, but you want it to be. Rooney's, oh, God. Cam Golden Gun, I almost, oh, man. Available for what? Available for what? I love Rooney as a player, but what's he available for as a manager? Gordon Gorilla had one here too for us. What are your thoughts on what the coaching staff must be thinking about the loss and a starting level will change drastically? The Parkinson interview today, I've never seen him like that before. He wasn't mad. They did it 2.5 hours later. I don't know. I hope he was livid. What are the thoughts on it? I would not be surprised if there's only 1 or 2 changes on the weekend. I also would not be surprised if there is an unchanged 11. But I'll tell you this right now: if they're not throwing things at the wall in the locker room and pissed off at what happened yesterday, whether or not there is dissent inside the locker room, they better get that shit sorted out in the next 72 hours. Sorry, I know your kids are there. Sorted out in the next game and put a performance on on Saturday against Wycombe Wanderers. I hope they do.
Yeah. Don't forget regarding the coaching staff as well, though. They are Phil's coaching staff.
Phil's staff.
For the majority. If he goes, a huge amount of them will be gone. So that it'll be a big shift in that scenario. And I have to assume most of the coaching staff will be on a very similar mindset to Phil.
Yep. And the whole coaching staff will change. Yeah, capital clarity, 100%. On that note, you have some graphics that look pretty good. If we can just take a quick look at moving through. Been good chat. By the way, subscribe if you haven't subscribed. On our way to 2,000. 2,000, and thank you, at 1.62. Remember, on Saturday, we do have game day build-up. Okay, live watch along right into Wrexham Time call-in show. That is your show. Good debuts on the weekend, and then Wrexham reaction. Hopefully, it's a better reaction than we had after yesterday's match. But Patty's got a couple graphics here with the run-in that could show where we're at for the next 10 games. And remember, right now, I'm calling this the Dark Night of the Soul. Who's going to be the goddamn hero to help us fight for this promotion? And these are the numbers that are going to help us out.
Okay, so basically we have 10 matches left. Wycombe are the only team that have 11. They have that extra match in hand that will be sitting there for a while. So what I did with this graphic here is I took all of the teams that are remaining and I organized them by their position in the league. So going from left to right, it's basically the assumed harder match by their position in the league, and had a look at it first. Now, all season, I've been looking at 91 points, which is the average points that the number 2 position has finished on. It does not look like we're going to reach 91, any of us, based on where we are so far. But I'm still using that number for the graphics here. So we have 68 points, which currently is a 1.89 per game. Required 23 points, which is 2.3 per game, which is going to be tough. That's probably not going to happen. But I did that for all the teams here. And that means for us, we could lose to Wycombe, draw with Charlton, draw with Stockport, beat everybody else that we have left, and end up hitting that like magic 91 number. Now it will end up being a little bit less. So this is the most restrictive and hardest route to kind of get there, we would be assuming.
Which is probably
which look, maybe someone's going to chase us right down to the end.
Yeah.
And once we get just a little bit further in, it'll be 2 or 3 teams, maybe max. Very quickly, the bottom teams here are going to fall off. So in order to meet that number, if you have a look at the bottom, you have Bolton. They messed up last night and lost as well.
Charlton 2-1, yeah.
So they are in trouble. In order to reach the average 91 points I'm talking about, they have to win every single match, and they're at 1 point short in order to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Stockport can win every single match, and they make it they hit that magic 91 number.
We don't have Huddersfield. We don't have Huddersfield or Reading in there, and they're still in a shout, but I understand why.
No, they're not. Well, technically, yes. Look, if everybody goes on a bad run, but I didn't even bother looking at them because that means 5 teams above them have to all go on bad runs. It's kind of, it's a really outside shot. They'll make playoffs, but looking at this. Right, so just to break this down a little bit easier, because there's still a lot of teams there, I did this. These are the bottom half teams that are left to be played by all the teams that are in contention here. And let's just assume for a minute that every one of the bottom half are going to lose to all the people chasing promotion and second spot. This then leaves us in a situation where we would have 96 points or 86 points.
Mm-hmm.
Wycombe would have 77, Charlton 84, Stockport 77, and Bolton 75. And then we have to play out the matches with the up half of the league remaining. So let's pull them away, and it leaves us with this. All right.
86, 84, 77, 77. I mean, that'd be a shocking, by the way, that'd be a shocking super wedgie of Wycombe dropping points in life, even though,
Yeah, so look at Wycombe first of all. Obviously, the amount of matches that they have from the top half is crazy. Yeah. They have position 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 12 all to play in the top half.
Mm-hmm.
So taking out the ones we've already given them, that means they need 14 points out of this grouping here, which means they can lose to us, lose to Charlton, draw with Stockport, draw with Bolton, but then they need to win their other 7 matches. Which
they have an average of points per game 1.75.
1.75.
We're at 1.25.
1.25 for our 4, because we only need to win 1 and draw 2 out of those 4. Now, again, the caveat is we're probably not going to end up on 91 points. No one is. So there's a bit more flexibility here than I'm currently showing. Yep. This is showing it as the tightest. Charlton, however, is something we need to look at, because they had 16 lower teams that I've just said they're going to win.
And then they need right now.
Yeah, and then they need 7 points from the hardest matches. But for them, they have Wycombe, they have ourselves, and then they have Huddersfield in the top half. So they could go on a sustained run. And also they have the option of beating both Wycombe and beating us as well in that scenario for them. So Charlton might actually be a much more dangerous team to chase us down than Wycombe.
Or Wycombe, by the way.
And Wycombe first. Yeah, I haven't even looked at Stockport and Bolton. Yeah. Stockport and Bolton, I think the issue is the points that they're behind, they're just running out of matches.
Yeah,
they basically need to win everything and keep a massive sustained run.
And if they come level on points with us, by the way, Stockport have 18 goal diff. We have 20. Bolton Wanderers have a +5 goal diff. They have to make so that's another addition we will have if we
we basically have it on everybody except Wycombe, isn't it?
Yeah. By the way, the champ is here. John Merrill. I think Charlton's tough fixtures are right at the end of the season too, so they could be up your ass by the time those fixtures come around. Yes, possibly, yeah, and possibly. And
Charlton's second last match, I think, is ours. They are the only, in theory, difficult team in our final running of the season. So we will hit them at the very end, and either they will be right beside us, or they'll already be out of it by that point. I think it'll be decided, and it'll either be a huge match or it won't. They're either second or third last.
Yeah, we don't play Charlton. We play Wycombe, Stockport, Exeter, Cambridge, Burton, Wigan, and Bristol. Those are our last matches. We don't play them.
Did I mess up then?
No, don't say you did. Graham says he loves his graphics. Great work. Yes, it is good work right there. They're breaking it down. You can actually see the fixtures there too. And Rerun, just going back a little bit here while he's looking that up. Parky can't leave. That's crazy. I can't believe anyone's thinking about third place is finished unacceptable. I don't think that's what the rumors are about, the third place finish. Just so you know, Rerun. But I agree with you. I think it's insane. And Rathbone and Fletch right now are the heroes, most likely. Rathbone had his worst game for us. I don't know what happened to him yesterday, but I see him to bounce back. I see him bouncing about. And beautiful graphics. There you go. And did everyone blame the ref for that L yesterday? Did everyone see Parky blame ref for that? He had a go with the ref. He totally did.
No, Josh, I'm correct. On the 26th of April, Wrexham play Charlton Athletic.
So why does FOTMob not have? Oh, okay, they don't have it then. Too. You're right. I don't see it here. Oh, there's more. Blackpool, Charlton, and Lincoln. Sorry, there was a second page. I was wrong. He was right. So was FOTMob. There you go.
Yeah, there are only kind of top end team towards the end of the running.
The fixture list on FOTMob was on the next page. I thought that was the end of the season. My bad. Go ahead. Yep. Blame the ref.
Yeah. So if Charlton can go on a sustained run, which is very possible considering the weaker teams that they have, then they could actually be more dangerous than Wycombe. I don't see Wycombe getting through all of these teams, like right down to Lincoln, I suppose. They've got ourselves, Charlton, Stockport, Bolton, Huddersfield, Reading, Lincoln, and then even Stevenage. Now, of course, look, I said the bottom half is immediately a win for everybody. That's not true either.
No,
that could also dictate what happens, because you lose one or two of those, it really puts a dent in everything. But just to show how many of the weaker teams people have, and Charlton has like 7.
Well, the interesting thing right there too. So you look at the bottom 4. Burton Albion's on 33 points. Peterborough on 39. They split the gap a little bit too, even though they have a game in hand on them. 33-30. They're 6 points. They're 6 points above the relegation zone. Burton, Crawley, and Cambridge and Shrewsbury Town, they're just going to play the heel, or they're just going to be on the beach. You know what I'm saying? So we don't know who's up, but I would never be like, we're going to go on and win those games. Never. I would say, no.
The gap is extending for the bottom 4. Yeah. And looking at it now, we want that to extend as far and as fast as possible. Get that done, that the teams are relegated, so that they just have that little bit less motivation when they're fighting against us and others, I guess.
Yeah. But, I mean, it could be a food fight or it could be a walk in the park, Kazansky. I don't know. We'll see. I think it's going to be a food fight. I think it's going to get messy. And the run-in's crazy for Wycombe. Crazy for Wycombe. And the fact they play Stockport there too. Stockport, I would never want to face Stockport. And I know we do in a couple weeks. But Jesus, I mean, it's going to be an absolute food fight. And God, I think we could still get second amongst all this crap. We need to turn it around. The numbers say, like you just have right there, the numbers say we can actually lose that game, correct? Or draw. And we could still be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing for us. Wycombe, Charlton, and then Stockport. They're our most difficult matches left. And we could, in theory, lose them and then go on a run for everybody else, yes. But right now, we've been saying it for a while, is the most difficult finish to our section. We've done okay so far with the bad match last night, but now we have Wycombe and Stockport. We need to take out those 2 matches with at least draws in order to hold off them gaining points on us. Because the absolute worst case scenario here is if we go through these 2 matches and lose both.
Oh, God. And
that's then a run of 3 matches with 0 in a row. That's not to say we can't come back. We could come back from that position because almost all our difficult matches are then done. But obviously you don't want to slide back if we can help it. So,
well, because I want to put pressure. I mean, the goal yesterday was to put the pressure on Wycombe. They're looking up at us and we're looking down at them going into the match. That's a mental state, having the points on the board too. John thinks if we draw this weekend and Charlton win, I do think it's a 3-way fight. I agree with that. And Patty says your explanation, Gordon Gorilla says, Patty, your explanation is probably bringing people off the edge. Well, I mean, 24 hours later, we are man on wire at this point. We are man on wire. God, we're going to make it difficult on ourselves. I fully can see this happening. I fully can see it happening. That'd be a great scenario.
Oh, if we come through Wycombe and Stockport and beat both of them, we are absolutely in the driving seat to take out second. We really are, because we have a decent gap then, and we can push forward. Because I do expect Lincoln to fall off with the difficulty of their matches.
Yeah, I mean, they're in 13th right now. They won 2 out of the last 5 games.
Sorry, not Lincoln, Wycombe.
Oh, Wycombe,
mixing
sorry.
up.
Wycombe.
Wycombe. Yeah, I'm mixing up the teams there. Sorry.
Yeah.
Wycombe is going to fall off, I'm pretty sure. After doing this and after looking through it, I am more worried about Charlton going on a big run.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, that's why we got to play the games, right? They're right in the mix right there. Charlton are right in the mix. And that was the game we drew, right? With the last minute header by Big Al. Is that correct? Yeah. Right?
Not sure.
Yeah, I think so. Let's see. We beat Stockport at home just like they beat us at their place, Edgeley Park, ? Says Kelly Davidson. And Steve Barton says, if we beat Wycombe and Stockport, Vegas.
Vegas.
John Merrill says, I'm not convinced by Wycombe, but Kone is a game changer if he continues to bang in them. And now, so yeah. Well, I mean, obviously there was some issue. They probably thought he was going to leave in January, and he stayed. He obviously stayed, but he's probably getting comfortable back in. But how many times we said this? We got to worry about what we're doing. But as long as we win football games, we're okay. But still, if looking around what's going on with those graphics you had up, it is do or die. 10 games left this season. And I thought it would start yesterday, but clearly that's not going to happen. But how much further can we keep nudging until we run out of games? I mean, we need help. Unless we win out, we need help, or else we're not getting second.
No, down to 5 is where you're really at the tight end.
Mm-hmm.
Because then you're starting to become physically unable to make up certain gaps, and at that point you're counting. How many more matches do you need to win in order to say they're done? They cannot catch us anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to be right beside them if you're not ahead of them. You really don't want to be too far behind. 4 points is kind of the max you might want to be chasing. Preferably none, obviously, but just once you're outside of 4 in that late stage in the last 5 matches, it's going to become really tough.
It's interesting, though, because we have Wycombe, which I call the most critical game after this loss right now. Because we have Wycombe next, it's like it raises the stakes. The stakes have been risen right now. Granted, all those numbers you just put up there, it doesn't matter. But the next game is you want to get back out there and play. After you get a loss, you get back on the pitch. The next game is huge. Even so, it is. And right there, Wessex says it's going to be a sellout on Saturday. It's going to be a cauldron.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And as horrible as it is to say this, getting your ass kicked right before a big game
might be good.
Does focus the mind.
Yeah,
it does focus the mind that we've just lost, and we don't want to take another one, especially against big opposition.
It might be the best thing for us. I hate to say that. It might be the best thing for us. I don't think it is, but it might be the best thing for us. You never know. And in other news, Steve Barton apparently was going to shave his armpits. Thank you for the $5 super chat. And he doesn't have to do that now. So just wax them, my friend, or get a laser. Thank you for the super chat. And Kelly says, we drew with Charlton in October, but it felt like a loss. And,
that was the match I was at.
Yeah, that's right. You were there. And John Merrill says, sorry to say, Josh, we don't play any of them to help you out. We do have Shrewsbury at home.
In fairness, John, you've already helped us out.
Yeah. You took points
we were behind at that point, and you took points off everybody around us as well. So you did your job, guys.
Any news on Barney? He did get clattered twice yesterday. No news on him. Nothing that I see. You? I haven't seen anything.
No, but either way, I would expect Longman coming back in.
Yeah, I do too. Just on performance alone, right there, 100%.
Yeah, I still think that Longman on the left and Barney on the right was the better option. Yeah,
over Rapon?
Huh. Yeah, I do.
He looked good yesterday. Longman went on the left. He did.
Yeah, with the caveat that he got screwed over by Maka quite a few times again. Maka was impeding into his area, but he did have moments where he lost the ball quite a bit.
He did. Well, I think he I don't think that worked out. That whatever they were doing, it did not work out. Do you think he was in? I don't think Ravon would get intimidated, but I think Macca was yelling at him a couple times, and I was like, that this didn't work. Macca is prone to getting outside. That's his position apparently, but in the middle, I think that was part of the mistake right there. He was trying to cover for Dabo with a steal in the midfield, but stupid. So who plays if left at Longman is in for Barney on Saturday? Mendy? No. No.
Sorry, see, I look at the chat and people make me laugh. I lost there for a moment. It was John Morris. Paddy might like this. Our away game at Peterborough before the final is looking like could be the game we actually win the league. Now, I said this, and I don't think you saw it or responded to it in the Discord. So people join the Discord if you're not there. There's a little sidestep. I mentioned that, and I said you could either win it at home, which you were thinking in the match before, or wouldn't it also be nice to actually beat Peterborough at their home and then lift the league title in their ground, basically 2 matches before they have to come and beat you again with the cup? Just to rub salt in the wounds before you play in the cup.
Just that one that hurt. Yeah. Well, that's going to be a good game. If Mendy gets a minute on the pitch, we have a bigger problem with him. I don't think he'll get on the pitch. Now, by the way, who put that up there? Cam Golden Gun. I didn't mean to. I wasn't saying about Mendy. I just don't think that's an option, in my opinion. And there's the Discord link right there in the chat right there.
Yeah, some people have mentioned Mendy coming back in. I do not want to see him on the pitch. I'm sorry.
No, we have better options, in my opinion. Right now, at this moment, if he does, I'd be shocked.
Yeah, we have Longman, Macca, and Revan.
Revan, or Revan, whatever you say. Yeah, but. All right, we did a good hour there. But yeah, I guess sum it all up, we need to fight for this promotion. We're still fighting for this title. We do. We need to fight for it. And who's going to be those heroes? Get into the chat.
Who scores?
Yeah.
I don't care who scores. It doesn't matter.
I don't care if
I don't care if Sam and J-Rod don't score another goal. If we win enough points to get promotion, it does not matter.
It doesn't matter. I hope they do score. I hope they do score. Yeah. We're not saying we don't want them to score. We want to, but lot of good stuff there to pick out the bones for everybody. We have 72 hours to the game. More will come out. Yesterday was a bad day, but to what Patty put there, it's even if we lose on Saturday, which I hope we don't. I know Patty doesn't want to, and the rest of the community does not want to. It's not over. The sky isn't falling. All those rumors we were talking about, just rumors, having a conversation, and it's good to do that. But it's a great conversation. I thought. Fun day after getting waxed yesterday, and best of luck to Reading for the rest of the season. I would not want to play them in the playoffs because they look good. They look really good. Yep.
I think we could beat them if we played them again.
I hope so.
There's other teams I'm more worried about in the playoffs.
You're worried about Charlton, Stockport. Yeah.
Stockport, Bolton, and
Bolton on their day. Yeah, even though they dropped one yesterday, but. When you double bag it yesterday and we still lose, throw caution. We got caught out, but it's not over yet. Second still in our favor. And still.
Yeah, I'm still positive we have a very good shot at taking that second.
I do too. Yeah. This might be, if we're gonna get the positive, yesterday's loss might be the best thing for us.
Maybe.
And it hurts. It hurts. Shea Daddy says the gaffer sets the tone. It's on him to undo it yesterday. Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, and in fairness, if something needs to be resolved within the dressing room, this might very well be the impetus to just do it.
Yeah.
If people need to be called out, call them out. If changes need to be made, make them.
Do it now.
Do it now. Yeah.
Do it now. By the way, great conversation. Have Patty on. Patty's out all the time. What the hell are you talking about, Esteban? I'm just joking. He's out all the time. John says I've clipped that upper set. Oh, Christ. You and the posh people clipping me up. There you go. And Clap Little Clarity says, I don't care from now to the end of the season that we get 1-0 every game finish second. You're speaking our language. That Reading 17-year-old kid got us shook. Yeah, Garcia. He was great. That kid was really good. Garcia? Yeah, number 30.
Yeah, look, we keep saying this. The age doesn't really matter if you're good.
Yeah. Old enough. Yeah, if you're good enough, you're old enough. The most Wrexham thing to do is lose yesterday, then win Saturday. Aaron, 100%, dude. 100%. Father of the year right there, Aaron. All right, brother. Good show, man. Good shout. If anything breaks, obviously, we will be live on the local pundit game day build up and call-in show as well, and live watch along for the Saturdays. But yeah, get into the chat, get into the Discord. Lots going on in there. Patty, you got to put those in the Discord too.
I'll throw them up now. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Good shout. Thanks for coming in. Please smash a like on the way out. Subscribe. 2,000 by the end of the season, and let's go get that second place. And on that bombshell,